Booze and Boobs is our largest and most successful third-party fundraiser. Event organizers Star Hand, who you heard about in episode 30, and Chloe DeLeo raise more money and more funds every year, and they do it with zero expenses. That means that every dollar that they raise goes directly to our programs and allows us to care for many more women. During this powerful mashup episode, you'll hear from Chloe and other survivors turned supporters of the Rose. They'll share their personal stories and why it's so important to them to help other women in our lives. Help us share the mission of the Rose by subscribing to Let's Talk About Your Breast on your favorite podcast platform and by sharing with your family and friends. Let's Talk About Your Breast, a different kind of podcast presented to you by The Rose, a breast center of excellence and a Texas treasure. You're going to hear frank discussions about tough topics, and you're going to learn why knowing about your breast could save your life.
My name is Chloe DeLeo, and a few years ago, a few friends got together, and it was in October, and we thought, well, let's try to make a difference and see if we can raise money. In a couple of weeks, we did. We raised money, and we went everywhere and asked if they wanted our donation, and we found the Rose. And it's been amazing because we've all been affected somehow through this, horrible disease. So it's just been, a labor of love every year. A lot of friends get together, and then we just love supporting the Rose. It's great because there are a lot of women out there that can't afford mammograms. So, it's just a great event. Our pink event raises so much money for the Rose so that we can provide quality health care for people. And they've just been there to support us from day one. And so every year we just get better and better, and we raise more money. So last year we were their largest donor. So it's just been really wonderful, and they're amazing to work for. So we just really absolutely love them.
Many of the people who have hosted fundraising events for the Rose have been personally impacted by breast cancer in some way, shape, or form. And Chloe is no different.
My godmother passed away about 10 years ago. And then while we were doing this event, my best friend passed away suddenly. So it's just really impacted me on a personal level. And then, also just being here and be able to, raise money and support the cause is really wonderful for us.
My name is Jennifer Klein. I battled metastatic breast cancer for 2 years, had a double mastectomy. I have no family history of cancer, not just breast cancer, but any cancer on my maternal or paternal side. It had metastasized my lymphatic system, double mastectomy, 6 months of chemo, 3 different types, then the 33 straight days of radiation. And then I also had an anterior infarction, which is basically infarction is a heart attack. And I've supported this event before in the past, and then I became a patient myself.
While she's attended past events, Jennifer's own breast cancer diagnosis gave her a whole new outlook.
I'm so lucky that I actually have insurance and a livelihood to be able to pay for the treatments and the care. I just can't imagine, because I know how hard it was for me, and I have support, and I have the finances, and I have the medical insurance. I can't imagine how it is for people who don't have the insurance, or their insurance doesn't cover certain things, how devastating and even more hard it must be for those individuals. So now I even more passionately support places like the Rose.
And how did you get involved with this event?
Through my friend Star. So my first year at this event was just, I'm sure like many people, I was very compassionate and sympathetic for people who have cancer, whether it's breast cancer or any other kind. And Star is very passionate about helping others. So of course most people feel horrible for people that go through it, but you never understand it until you actually really, truly experience it. So that's how I got involved before I even got diagnosed with cancer, was through a mutual friend, through Star Hand.
I'm Edward Sanchez, makeup artist to the stars here in Houston, Texas. I am a makeup artist, so all my clients are women, and I support them to make sure that, they are healthy. So Booze and Boobs is a great fundraiser to make sure that ladies are healthy and fit.
Not only does he support his clients, Edward's support of the Rose is personal.
My mother was affected by breast cancer, and that's what brought me to Houston, Texas almost 35 years ago. And we came here to MD Anderson, and fortunately she was stage 3 and she was saved. She actually has no cancer in her body, and she's 78 years young, and it's a wonderful story.
My name is Tiffany Albrecht, and I am here supporting Booze and Boobs with the Rose because we've had family members that have dealt with it, close friends, neighbors, other loved ones, that you realize it affects everybody. And so when they first approached my floral studio, the House of Blooms, it was a no-brainer, especially when they explained how they operate this whole event with zero overhead, and that the money goes to helping those who need it. I absolutely wanted to be a part of it. So being here and seeing it firsthand is just very inspiring for humanity as a whole, that there are still those that just want to help, and that's exactly what Booze and Boobs does. And I'm happy to be a part of it.
We are so thankful for all of Tiffany's support, and the reason why she has chosen the Rose time after time speaks volumes.
For me, with the Rose, it was a financial standpoint as far as for how they actually operate as a nonprofit organization. Their diligence as far as what they're spending money on, how they're spending money on it, and truly making sure that they are helping those that they set out on a mission to help. So that was a no-brainer. Outside of this event in years past, my shop has helped the Rose multiple times, and for the exact same reason.
Hi, my name is Vicki Snow, and I'm here at the event. I am a cancer survivor. Was treated at MD Anderson, and one of the things that was most important is that I had a doctor that took one step further and said, we should just check this out and do this testing, and unfortunately found out that I was diagnosed with stage 3 cancer.
What does it mean to you as a survivor to be a part of an event like Booze and Boobs?
You wake up in the morning and you're thinking, I'm still here, and you have to give back because you're so grateful for the support and the people that are around you, the medical team that supports you, so you have to give back. There's just nothing else that you can do. The Rose, my mother is a breast cancer survivor, so that was the big driver for me. I also am affiliated with a lot of the women that are associated with this, and being a cancer survivor myself, I felt it was my obligation to do that, and I'm willing to do that.
Well, that wraps up this episode. We're so thankful for this year's event, which was bigger than last year's and will be bigger even yet next year. It happened weeks ago, and people are still talking about how much fun we had. Booze and Boobs is one of many fundraisers that support the Rose. If you would like to get involved, let me tell you about other events. In March, we have our beautiful Everything's Coming Up Roses annual luncheon. In May, the Hats and Henna High Tea is a perfect way to celebrate mothers, and our annual shrimp boil is fun for all ages and happens in June. You can make your donation anytime at therose.org. Believe me, no amount is too small when it comes to fighting breast cancer.
Thank you for joining us today on Let's Talk About Your Breasts. This podcast is produced by Speak Podcasting and brought to you by The Rose. Visit therose.org to learn more about our organization. Subscribe to our podcast, share episodes with friends, and join the conversation on social media using hashtag Let's Talk About Your Breasts. We welcome your feedback and suggestions. Consider supporting The Rose. Your gift can make the difference to a person in need. And remember, self-care is not selfish, it's essential.